Hi guys, this is Tracy from Tracy's Art and Craft, and I'm back. I'm just going to work on this lace piece today. So I'm just going to cut off a few strings that I've left on here. Yeah, just a little update on my cat situation. She has been, well, we've been told through all the testing that she has no hope. She has a neurological condition. Her kidneys are in, she's had no symptoms of kidney failure, but apparently she had it silently and she's in the final stages. So yeah, we've tried kidney, foods that are good for the kidney disease and things, but she just won't eat anything. So at the moment she's not in pain and she's quite happy. We're going to leave her for a little bit, for a couple of days for my children, to say their goodbyes, and then yeah, it'll be final. But yeah, so unfortunately that's not so good. So I'm going to stop talking about that now, because otherwise I'll get all upset again, and I'm quite emotionally drained after the last few days. So I think I'm just going to get on with crafting, try to take my mind off things, and I think that's one of the reasons why so many of us as crafters craft. And sometimes life is just hard and you need something that you could just switch off and focus on. So that's what we're going to do today. I've sewn this. What I did was I wanted to do some really messy stitching, as if I kind of had this feel of somebody that couldn't quite stitch but really wanted to put their things on their journal, put this together. So I've done some really messy stitching around here, or at least attempted to. And my machine grips fabric very well. I find it very much easier to make mistakes on paper, but if I've actually got fabric in there, my machine grips it really well. And so making mistakes has to be a deliberate act on the fabric side of things. So I'm just trying to get rid of some of these little stringy bits. So yeah, I didn't want it to come out looking good. I wanted it to come out looking like it's been thrown together. It's got that kind of look to it. However, everything is secure. I made sure I didn't leave anything that's not secure, but yeah, I wanted it to have that kind of look. So I'm bringing over a hard cover, because I want this to be a hard cover, not a soft one. It can be a soft one. All you've got to do is that. There you go, that soft one. You could hem it if you wanted, or you could add seam binding to the edges if you wanted, and that is a soft cover. You could add also on the inside pockets and things like that. I am, however, just going to add this onto the cover itself, and then it'll all fold round looking nice. These are going to be kept sort of there, hopefully. We'll see. I want them to be sort of kept loose, but I've got to see if that will, yeah, that will work. Yeah, so they're going to be kept sort of on the edges but loose, and then most of this tacked down. That's kind of how I see it anyway. So I'm just going to use 3-in-1 for this. Of course it could be a soft cover. I have made soft cover journals. I kind of don't like how they look in my style. It's the way I really overbulk the pages on the inside, and then the soft cover journal, I don't know, it just looks, I don't know, kind of overstuffed. I don't know. This isn't to do with anybody else's soft cover journals, because I love them, hence why I did try to make one. I just don't like it when I make it. The good thing about this fabric is it's really thick, this base fabric that I use, hence why I said it was good as a base fabric. So you can get a lot of this glue on, and one, it isn't going to move, and two, it's not going to seep through because it's really thick fabric. Just so you know, this book is actually fabric covered. It's a fabric cover book, so it's kind of fabric to fabric that we've got going on here. I'm just going to take a bone folder and just get it into the creases of the spine. Now if these bits don't work, we could just like glue them down on the inside, it's not a problem. I'm not really fussed, honestly. I think it still look really pretty. There we go. That's all stuck down on that side. So here I'm going to make a few snips. Try not to snip off any of that yellow. And we're just going to take down some of the bulk, but I'm going to leave a little bit so I can then glue that down and then bring this over, just because you're going to need a little bit to cover the corners, if that makes sense. And then I'll bring it up here. Do I want to? No. Do you know what? That closes just fine. I'm not going to get rid of the bulk in the centre. If you did want to, you could just cut little triangles here and a little triangle there and there, each of these corners here, and then that will go up, but there won't be no bulk on this bit, but I'm actually going to keep it there. It folds just fine. I'm looking at how it folds down the bottom here, and I'm looking just there at how it folds, and it seems to fold really well. Once the pages are in everything, I think it'll be fine, because I do make it quite wide, so it will, you know, it won't fold completely shut anyway. Yeah. So next is get rid of some of these strings. These cause problems when gluing down, because they can make a piece go loose if you have too many. If you have one or two, that's not going to cause any problems at all. It's when you've got big bulks of threads, it will stick the threads down, but it won't stick the fabric. There we go. I think that makes sense. So I'm just going to put a little blob on each corner. And the first thing I'm going to do is stick down, this is going to take a little while, so bear with me. The first thing I'm going to do is stick down the corners. But you do have to hold them in place a little bit. So here I can see this, the yellow one is going to be a problem. I think maybe if I don't fold it in so much, that'll be okay. I think I might get some clips actually. I've got a few clips up here. Oh, hello. Let's do this. Add some more glue on. There, that's better, isn't it? That's going to hold it much better. Just put my arm in this glue, so I'll just add a little bit more. None of this will come up once we do the next fold, which is this one. It will all sort of hold down, but I do want to make sure it's just stuck just so, because obviously I gift and I sell mine. I don't want someone to get it and then it doesn't hold nicely, you know. So, how many clips have I got left? I'll see if I've got enough to glue one of these sides down so we can see how it's going to look. I'm getting a bit of glue just underneath these sides, and then I'm going to go on the top of it. Just these folded bits. I will be putting backing paper on all of this, so if it's a little bit messy it doesn't matter, don't worry about that, because we'll put a little something backing on it. I might do a fabric actually, because I've been thinking about doing a lace pocket, and what I was thinking was, I've got this really big doily here, and I thought the big one would make a nice pocket that goes right across, and then you'll have a pocket here and a pocket here. So I was thinking of doing a backing of fabric and then start sewing some of this onto it. Some of this lace here is problematic. If you get any pieces like this that are problematic, you can just trim them. If they don't want to stay straight, then just take them off. Cut them down so they don't cause any problems later on. There we go. What about you? Yeah, let's take you down. Don't cut the yellow, because the yellow is going to come through in a minute and make like a little edging. There we go, that's one side done. Look at little look at this side. Again, I think I'll be cutting down this lace. Again, I'm just sticking down the folds to the fabric itself. You can use a hot glue gun for this if you want. I find 3-in-1 holds fabric down better and for longer than hot glue. You can use any other fabric as well, as long as you've got clips or something that will hold the fabric in place while it dries. And any sort of glue really that is strong, because you don't wash these, so it doesn't have to be a washable fabric glue. It just has to be a strong glue. So any silicone glues, you know that E6000, I think that's meant to be a really good glue. I haven't used it, but I've heard it's good. So yeah, I'm just holding this so it grabs, and then I'll leave it to dry, because it's going to be quite delicate. I won't, you know, sort of touch it until it's dry. Some of these clips may have to be moved if they're a problem. See, this one here is going to be a problem. So I'm just going to move it over, and then I'll be able to fold up. Otherwise I think most of them are okay. Sorry, I'm still having problems in the bulky areas. So yeah, although it seems a bit tedious, it's a bit boring to watch, I do apologise. But you know, it is how these things glue down, and I want to show people that, especially beginners, when they think, oh, it's not working, this keeps popping up. They do keep popping up. Just give it a second more. Honestly, the glue does grab. Sometimes you you know, when that's a little bit bulky, it keeps pulling itself back away, but you have to just give it a couple of more seconds. And don't be afraid of it. If you need more glue, you just go in with more glue. I'm so sorry I'm croaky. I do suffer hay fever, and I'm more croaky when I haven't took a tablet, and I haven't took one. I am just going to double this one because it's going to have a lot of folding. So where you're going to get a lot of pressure on the fabric and it's going to make it want to pull away, you want to double up the glue. So you put glue on the piece and then glue on the fabric as well. There we go, so I'm just going to hold that there just for a second, let it grab. You know, again, it is boring, but it helps beginners to see that you know, you do have to be a little bit patient. So that's why I'm leaving it in the video. I could just cut this and quickly glue it for everyone, but I know when I was starting out, this is quite a few years ago, one of my problems was I didn't feel like anything was secure. I was like, oh, nothing's sticking, you know, it's all going to be able to pull up. And the thing was, I was like this, testing it, going, is it going to pull up? And if it's not dry, of course it's going to pull up, you know. But it's not what you think. It's because you're insecure, because it's new to you, so you think that it's everything you're doing. It's nothing to do with, you know, just patience. So again, this isn't holding very well because it's such a big area. So one way you could do it is stick. You could stick all your sides. You can put it upside down and then put a few books on top and then come back to it later. 3-in-1 sticks really quickly. I mean, this one's already stuck down. But you do have to wait just a little while when it's pretty thick like this is. This one just wants to keep coming up, and I think it's the clip, so I'm just going to move the clip onto it a bit, and that will just force that to stay. And then I can concentrate on the other side. See, that one's come up as well, but I may need a little extra glue on there, which I'll go around and do that later. We'll see how it looks when I put a bit of fabric over it. And when it's thick like this, to pierce it, to get the signatures in, is going to be quite difficult. My big bite will get through it. I won't have a problem with it, but you know, if you're using an awl on things, what you can do is put it onto a book or something cushioned that you don't mind destroying, and then put your awl on, especially if you've got one of the wooden handle ones like mine. Let me just show you, like this with the blunt end. You can put it on like that, and you can then, look, mine's just gone through, but you can then use a hammer, a small hammer, and just knock it through, and it will force the awl right the way through. So that's pretty much sticking now. It's just in the stubborn areas that's not sticking, so I'm just going to leave that because I think that will stick when I put the final piece on. So here I am just going to, again, just get all that glue onto the fabric. And I'm going to double it up again on the book, making sure I get these crease areas really well. There we go. And there. Again, this clip is in the way here, so I'm just going to move it. See if I can. It's going to have a real good squishy feel around the edges of this book, which is nice. I think it wants to go on. No, but I don't want to go on. We'll hold it. Well, this one's already nearly stuck down. This one's done well. This one's done much better. Now again, if there are any bits of lace that are sticking up like this, except for the yellow lace, we want to leave that down. Some of the yellow lace might need a little snip just to lay flat. We'll just cut this off. There we go. Most of this one's grabbed really, really well actually. So I'm just going to turn it over. I think I could take these clips off as well now. They seem to have grabbed well. See, so it doesn't take too long in comparison to what some glues may take. So can you see this one got folded up? It has come out fine, but if they don't come out fine, you can give them a little snip. Just to sort of make them lay flat again. There we go. There, so we have the journal. Obviously that's not quite stuck, I will give that a moment, but that is so far the cover. I'm going to give this a moment now, let it sit there and just do its thing, and I'm going to find some fabric and I'll be right back. 1 second. There we go. So I've just cut a piece of the same fabric as this backing fabric to cover the inside. I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. This is just going to get stuck down, but first of all I do want to add this little pocket that's going to come in. So once the signature's sewn in, this will be held really tightly, so it'll be just one pocket here and then just one pocket here, and they're really cute, so I do want to do that. So what I'm going to do first of all is turn the book, and I'm going to cut down a little further than the book itself, because I'm going to glue this on the inside of this fabric before I glue this fabric down. Oh, there we go. I think that's just going to be really pretty, lovely little oh, I'm so sorry, I knocked you. It's going to be a lovely little accent to the inside, and you'll be able to see everything you've put in and whatnot. So I just want to pin this. I've got a couple of pins in here. I just want to pin this where I want it, so that it holds still. Let's see if I've got one more in here. Yeah. There we go. Oh, that didn't go through the knitting. There. Oh, I've pulled it out. There we go. This is the kind of day I'm having. Behave. There we are. So on this side, I am just going to glue it really down well on here without gluing the pin. Don't glue the pin. And pop a little glue over here as well. The lace will grab much quicker than the fabrics did before. Don't fold it too tightly. If you fold it too tightly, you'll get warped you'll warp the fabric and it won't stick down nicely and look neat. So don't worry if you leave a little give on the sides, because it will help the pocket anyway. So ooh, I'm all gluey now. So now you could either cut away this fabric here, or you could just glue it down. I'll just glue it down. So I'm just going to put a little glue in here and glue it to the other piece, and then I'll glue up here. Again, you can take away the bulk if you want to by snipping the corners, but I don't see the point. It's just lace, it's not going to make any difference, it's really bulky behind here anyway. And don't put it up too tight. When it's lace, the glue sometimes when it seeps through it sticks more to your hands than it does the lace, so I find using something like a bone folder really helps, and this is why this bone folder is such a mess. I do use this one for gluing a lot. So you know, it's always handy to have one thing that you use for gluing and just use it like that. Some people use credit cards, stuff like that. I just have to use whatever's near my desk, but I try to keep one bone folder nice and one, you know, gluey and whatnot. So there is that. That is going to make some lovely, lovely pockets. I can remove these pins now. And then this is ready to stick in here. Now you could obviously do the edges with seam binding and all that sort of stuff if you want to. I like the rough edges, these will fray over time and that will look nice. So I am just going to start getting this glue all down. Where it meets the fabric you need a lot of glue for the edges. This kind of project does use a lot of glue, to be fair. And don't forget, if there's any pieces that you just don't like, they didn't stick right or anything like that, they're lifting, you can always come back and fix those, so they're not a problem at all. And like I say, before this you could sew all this and you could go around with seam binding as well to seal it off, so that's an idea if you wanted to. I can't see there being a problem with this glue though. This does hold really well. In fact, it's going to hold all these edges down and things as well. Another glue that's really good, and you might have it in your cupboards, who knows, you know, like carpet glues, flooring adhesives, flooring tapes are really good because, you know, they're just not, I don't know if you've had carpet, you try to get it up with flooring tape, that stuff just sort of melts into a glue and you can't get that stuff up for life. So yeah, anything like that. Think about experiences you've had in the past. What glues have you never been able to remove? And they're a nightmare to get off. And those glues are perfect for making something stick. Also, things like 3-in-1 has a strong scent, people say. I don't smell it. I don't think it smells that strong. But some people say it's so strong I can't handle it. Most strong glues do have a strong scent. Open a window, because it's not good for you to breathe in anyway. Open a window. So I've got glue bits all over me. Make sure it's ventilated. If it's too strong, get some masks on. I don't mean the face masks we're wearing today. They're no good for resin or glue. What you need is industrial masks. The ones with the vents are the best, but there are some that will keep substances out, and you'll find them in the DIY departments. Just ask anyone in the DIY stores as well, because you know they do. There are some, I mean, not all people in the DIY stores know what's about, but the more experienced ones do tend to know what it's about, and they'll know the products, you know. But yeah, if you're, you know, if it's too strong and things, don't worry about this part. I know it looks like it's all baggy and things like that, but what I'll be doing is I'll be pinning it just above where I'm going to be putting the holes for the middle, and I'll be piercing it and then sewing the signatures in, and that's just going to hold that really still. So don't worry about that right now, but that is our cover so far. So we're going to have two lovely pockets here and here. I think they're so cute, and they go so well with obviously the front. Oh, I've put it on upside down quickly. So if you make any mistakes, you do have a minute with this. You can take it off. As you can see, it's grabbing already. So there's pieces it's grabbing onto, that's fine. Just take it off the best you can. Can you believe I did that? I can. I'm keeping it in the video as well. Here's why. Beginners, it happens. It happens all the time. Double check, triple check. If you've taken anything off because you've made a massive boo-boo, you always will need more glue. Yeah, that's just, you're going to need more glue, because that glue, even though it looks like it's still there and it would still stick, it won't stick anything. You've kind of lost your chance with it, so get a lot more glue put on and give it another go. So I'm ever so sorry about that, everyone. I can't believe I did that. What a silly mistake to make. But I think it's important for people to see that these mistakes, they happen to everybody. One of my cousins is an artist, a full-blown proper artist, exhibits and everything. And even he makes massive mistakes sometimes. I've known him to throw away whole pieces because he's like, I don't even want to work with that anymore. I'm done. I've made so many mistakes on it. I'm done. I'm walking away. So even the best of us make mistakes. There we go. So let's just make sure. Yeah, I haven't failed this time. Oh my days, hey. There we are. We're back down, and it's not made any effect to the piece whatsoever. In fact, the piece is still doing all right. Still sticking down nice and firmly. If when you come to the end, wait for it to dry, but if there are any bits that are lifting up, you can just pop a little glue under those, and that will really help to strengthen the edges, make sure they can't get caught. So yeah, like I say, the signature will hold that in, and then if we close it, I think that looks absolutely beautiful. It ties in this lovely piece that we have in the background here to the inside. I have got some pieces of lace here I'm not keen on. Can you see how they're just coming up? I will later just glue those down. But I'm going to do it later because I want to wait for this to dry, and then I'll go in and glue these bits and put some pins on, but I don't want the pins to knock off the yeah, I don't want the pins to knock off this centre piece. Can you see as I'm folding it, it's all coming off? So yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore, but I just wanted to show you quickly. When it dries, it will feel stiff because you've got so much glue there, so much fabric there. You need to give it a little bit of a bend, but you don't want to do that at least for the first 24 hours. I'd give it a really good time to settle. This is where I now pull my papers in, find some papers that I want to use, put them together, and just leave this to sit really. So yeah, that is everything for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Yeah, do leave a few little comments, you know, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Everything you need to know is down in the description box. I hope you're all well, I really do. and I will see you next time. Bye for now. Bye.